Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Cooking with Mitisha. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this delicious focaccia bread at home. I think everyone enjoy this bread, so I have made this really detailed video for you guys so anyone can make it at home. So let's get started with the recipe. We'll need to make our dough for this focaccia bread. Here I have taken flour, 3 and 1/4 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoon of salt. You can adjust according to your preference. Here I have taken 2 teaspoon of olive oil. Water is 1.5 cup, and you will need instant yeast. I'm using whole package, which is 2 and 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. 1/4 ounce, it's like whole package, and all the measurements will be listed in the description box, guys. So if you need to check it out, go in the description box. I will be listing all the ingredients and the measurement. Of course, you're gonna need a lot more olive oil, but this is just for the dough. Now I'm gonna knead a dough into this bowl, but you can use your stand mixture if you feel comfortable. This does not require lots of kneading, so that's why I'm using bowl and gonna mix it with my hands. So let's do that. Here I have my flour. I'm gonna dump all that in here. Gonna add salt. After adding the salt, give it a stir, a good stir. And now I will add my whole packet of yeast, and into that we'll add my water. Now water should not to be too cold or not to be too hot, has to be warm, and around 100 to 110 Fahrenheit temperature. If you don't have the thermometer at home, you can just dip your finger and it should be full warm, not too hot or cold, and then that should be okay. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add water. I'll add a little by little. I will use my hand to mix it. In making of this focaccia bread, is two things really important, is water and rising. So rising should be really slow and the water should be about 75%. The best thing to do is knead a dough at night, leave it in the refrigerator overnight, and next day you just have to rise and bake it. But if you want to do it same day, you can follow this method. Dough is going to be really sticky. Now the water and flour has mixed. Now time to add our oil in. And add half right now. Now after adding all of my oil, I'm just gonna knead it very little. So after 5 minutes of kneading it, it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna spray this oil on top so it doesn't dry out, and then cover the dough with the sling wrap or the plastic wrap. Let it rest for 20 minutes. Now here I will be preparing some garlic oil. So this is completely optional. If you don't like, you can completely skip this. I like garlic flavor, so I'm going to do a garlic infused oil. You can just use regular olive oil instead of flavor oil. I'm just gonna cut it into a half. You can also keep it the whole or chop it fine, however you prefer. Now here I have taken this tiny tempering pan or tadka pan, or you can use regular pan. Into that I'm going to take about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just eyeball it. And going to add all my sliced garlic in. Now I'm going to cook this over the gas stove on the lowest heat for about 25 to 30 minutes until I see this garlic has turned a little brownish. Alright, here we go, on the lowest heat possible. So it's been 20 minutes, this still going on, and let's check on our dough. So after 20 minutes, it's gonna look like this. And now what we are going to do is perform the stretch and fold method. So you will need water. You are going to dip your fingers into the water. It will prevent your fingers from sticking to a dough. So what you're gonna do, take one corner of the dough, stretch it as long as you can, as far as you can go, and then fold it over to the other side of the dough. Now we're gonna do it same from the other side. So this, when you start stirring up, you just fold it over. Turn around your bowl and get it from the other side. Fold it over. So keep dipping your fingers in the water so it doesn't stick, the dough doesn't stick to your fingers. So we're gonna do this 4 times. This method will create gluten in the dough from hydration, so that's what we need. And now we are going to follow this method 3 to 4 times between every 20 to 30 minutes. I will do it every 20 minutes until you see your dough has nicely smooth. You can do it again. I'm going to cover it up and let it rest for another 20 minutes. So meanwhile our dough is resting, and this, as you can see, has turned lightly golden brown, and that's enough. So I'm gonna turn off the stove, and this oil is ready. It's been another 20 minutes. Let's check. If you can see, it's getting nice and smooth. Let's do this folding. Now just gonna spray a little oil and then cover this up and let it rest for another 20 minutes. It's usually good to repeat about 4 times, 4 to 5 times if you can. I am just going to do 3 times. So we already folded 2 times, so I'm gonna let it the last time rest, and then we'll last time do a folding method, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, after another 20 minutes, this is our 3rd time folding this dough. So and that's it. Now we are ready to put this dough into our baking tray. I have taken this 9 by 13 inch pan, add olive oil, and now I'm going to dump this dough into this pan covered with olive oil, and now you're gonna spread it evenly to all the 4 corners, and do it as much as you can. If dough has been stubborn or is really hard to do it, you can give it a 10-minute rest and then try again. After 10 minutes, give it a try again. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, you can just don't worry about it, leave it as it is. It will do it by itself. After spreading, I am going to cover this with the sling wrap. Going to let this rise for an hour. Now after 45 minutes, my dough has risen very well. As you can see, it's already touching to a top. Okay, so now I'm going to dip my fingers into the water and start dimpling the dough. Just like this. And be careful, don't deflect the dough. Just like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to reserve some oil. To drizzle on top. So I'm going to reserve this much. While this resting, we can prepare our topping for it. There's so many ingredients option to use to top this focaccia bread. Rosemary leaves, garlic, tomato, basil, whatever you prefer. It's all delicious. So I have picked garlic. I don't have rosemary, otherwise I would have definitely used it. Delicious option for any Italian bread. I don't have that, so I'm gonna use fresh basil from my plant. So I'm just gonna take some leaves off of the plant. So I decided to use some cherry tomato sliced up and some basil. I'm gonna take my garlic and just very gentle, just press it a little bit. Let's do some tomato slice. Basil at the end. Now we have still left this oil here, so what I'm going to do is add very little bit of water into this oil and give it a good stir until you see it's becoming frothy like this. Perfect. Now you want to drizzle this all over. Focaccia dough is not risen very well at this point. You can let this rest for 20 minutes. It will give good results. I'm going to let this rest over the counter until my oven is getting ready. So it's going to be about 7-8 minutes. And I'm going to sprinkle some sea salt on top. Alright, so oven is ready and I'm going to bake this into my oven, preheated oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put it in the middle rack and bake it for 15 to 20 minutes. And I'll show you once it's ready. After 20 minutes, delicious focaccia bread is ready. This nicely golden crust. While this is hot, I'm going to drizzle this olive oil that we reserved. And then let this cool down. So look at this nicely golden bottom, perfectly cooked from all the sides. This perfectly airy, spongy, crisp, a little bit of crisp on top and bottom, and nice crumb, perfect bread. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.